My wife Krista's mom and my daughter Emery's grandmother died 5 years ago today. I'm shooting this video the day before Mother's Day, so that's the anniversary of Krista's mom's and my daughter's grandmother's passing. It was a body blow to our family. I cannot believe it's been 5 years. It's Mother's Day is always a bittersweet day for my wife, for my daughter, for myself, with that connection with Grandma passing away the day before Mother's Day 5 years ago. Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. You can download a free copy of my brand new book, 5 Ways to Unfuck Your Life in the Next 30 Days. The link is below. Put in your email. I'll email you a digital copy of the book for free within 5 minutes after you put in your email. One of the things that our family cherishes and has cherished over the last 5 years since we lost Grandma Gigi is a short video that I took the last time Grandma visited us in the city 5 years ago. My daughter Emery, who's 11, was 6 years old at the time, and they sat down that evening. Grandma came for Grandparents' Day, and she stayed the night before over at our place in the city. And I'll never forget, they sat down at the piano, Krista, her mother, and my daughter, and it was 3 generations at the piano. I walked over and took a video of it. The video is in the PS if you were emailed this. You can check out the actual short video. It's a private family video. Also, I'm going to have my tech business partner, Mark Andre, attach that piano playing video at the end of this video if you have any interest in seeing it. It's one of our most cherished possessions. We watch it a couple times a year, and it's just the 3 generations playing at the piano: Grandma, Krista, and my daughter Emery. We watched it earlier today. We'll watch it on Mother's Day, and it's just something that we feel we're so blessed to have. It was the last time that Grandma stayed with us in the city. She passed away a couple of weeks later. We had just won the Barclay Cup League hockey championship with my team, the Perth Blue Wings, and I took my wife and my daughter on a much-deserved vacation to Turks and Caicos at the end of the hockey season. We returned from Turks and Caicos after 10 days, and it was the day after that Grandma passed away. Completely unexpected. She was a former school teacher, gym teacher, by all accounts really fit, just full of life, a person who you would think was 55, not in her 70s. And we took for granted that we thought that she would have a long life ahead. I remember speaking at the funeral. The church was completely sold out, and the funeral directors, who were my long-term insurance clients, mentioned at the end of the funeral, they said, "I think that's the most powerful funeral that we've ever hosted in 60 some years." That's quite a comment coming from guys that do it every single day. That was how important this person was. This is how kind, how generous, how compassionate, how many lives that Gerda Hardy touched as a school teacher for 45 plus years. She had this incredible talent and gift, I call it a gift, for making anybody that she spoke with, anybody that she talked to, feel better about themselves. I mean, admittedly, I don't have this gift. I've never seen anybody with this incredible talent where no matter where you talked to Grandma Gigi, whether you were a former student, whether you were a family member, whether you were a friend, whether it was at the Rotary Club, she showed interest in everyone, genuine interest. I talk about the skill of being, instead of being judgmental, be curious about people. Instead of tearing people down and criticizing them, how about we be curious about the person's story? Finding out what it was like to walk in their shoes. Curious, not judgmental. Well, Gerda Hardy was the poster woman for curious, not judgmental. I can't remember a time that I heard her criticize another person. She was a teacher who had a massive impact on thousands and thousands of teenagers. She taught high school. She coached volleyball, basketball, tennis, you name it. But I never ever heard the woman talking about herself. It was, if you asked her about her dad or her mom or her background or her children, she would tell you. But no matter where we were with Grandma Gigi, it was all about asking other people. And she would listen to hear. She would listen to understand. She was genuinely curious. She wasn't one of these, fake people who were just, trying to build rapport to sell something. She was just an incredible human being who made every person that she spoke with feel just a little bit better about themselves and just a little bit better about the world. It was the most unique gift I've ever seen. And that's what I take with her. I mentioned when I was speaking at the funeral is like, she made me appreciate life more. She made me more compassionate. She made me more kind, not sympathy, but kindness, compassion, and empathy towards other people. And she taught me the importance of listening twice as much as we talk, and using, we got 2 ears and 1 mouth, as Nick Saban says. That means we're supposed to be listening to hear, listening to understand twice as much as we're talking, especially a life lesson in 2024. Listening, being curious, not judgmental, being kind, not critical, and learning something, like my dad says, from every person. The unsuccessful, the successful, the rich, the poor, the happy, the unhappy, whoever it is, if we're curious, if we're kind, we can learn something from every person we come in contact with. Sometimes it's what not to do, and sometimes it's what to do. But we can learn, like my dad says, from anybody else. I just remember when I spoke at the funeral being in shock and not thinking about the loss in my own personal life, which was really big. This woman made me, she opened up her home along with her husband. They made me feel like I was part of the family when I was dating Krista. And then we got married. Just the best. I said at the funeral, I said, I inherited the best mother-in-law in the league. I had the best mother-in-law in the league. Somebody who just opened her arms and her family and her home to, somebody that she only knew, as a passerby. And they supported our marriage. They loved our, Gerda loved our daughter, Emery. But the biggest thing that I was thinking about, during the funeral, and I think about it 5 years later, is the loss that my daughter, the loss that she had that day. Because when I was thinking about it, Krista had her mom for 45 plus years. I had the pleasure and the privilege of having Gerda as my mother-in-law for over a decade. So I feel incredibly grateful that she was in my life, and I know that Krista feels that she won the lottery with that being her mom. She could not have asked for more. But when our daughter was only 6 at the time, she was very connected to Grandma, because Grandma was that outstanding grandmother that you wish every child had. She would spend every Saturday night staying at Grandma and Pa's. I would pick her up on Sunday morning for hockey practice. And that was the tight, loving connection that our daughter Emery had with Grandma Gigi. And ever since this, I always think about, the loss for a little child like that, because this wasn't just a grandma, this wasn't just a grandfather, this wasn't just another person. This was a person who was all in, sharing stories of her life, her lessons, her wins, her losses, recipes and gardening and taking her camping. A lot of the things that I wasn't able to do, and just that extra love in her life. So in the last 5 years, Krista and I were talking about this yesterday, my daughter has an amazing memory. But if you look at your own life, your grandparents could have been in your life for 15 years, and the memories fade. They just do. When we lose people that we love, the memories over time, over decades, they fade. And one of the positives of technology in 2024 is the fact that we have photos, we have, high resolution videos that can be as reminders of these people that we cherish. And that's what this piano video is. We wouldn't have been able to shoot that video 20 years ago, or you wouldn't have had a video camera available 10 or 15 years ago. So it's something that we cherish. I talk about Grandma a lot to Emery. Even when Krista's not around, I tell her stories about Grandma. I tell her about her being a school teacher. I tell her about the people she influenced. I tell her, funny stories about Grandma. I remind her of the times that she had with Grandma and Pa. I'm just trying to keep her memory as vivid as I can. And videos help, and photos help. Krista does these amazing family photos for Christmas every year, like amazing photo albums of the year before. And we pull that out, we keep it on the table in the living room, and from time to time I'll see my daughter pull it out and go all through it. And there's photos of Grandma all through those albums. My parents are 90 years young, so we're incredibly blessed to have 3 grandparents. Krista's dad is still with us. My mom and dad are still with us, turning 91 later this year. So we have no complaints. We have 0 complaints. We won the lottery with our parents. We won the lottery with our grandparents. But it really, really hits hard when you lose somebody as spectacular as Gerda Hardy. And it's really a cold bucket of ice water in the face when you think it's been 5 years. And it reminds me of the message that my dad keeps telling to me every time I see him. He's like, son, he said, there's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. And he says, he keeps emphasizing, at age 90, you listen to a person who's been through all of it. And he just keeps reminding me, remember, there's a last time for everything. You get up in the morning and you don't want to walk. There's lots of days you get up and you don't want to put on the shoes and you don't want to walk. And my dad always says, remember, you get to walk. My mom and dad now live in this 5-star retirement home, but it's still a glorified nursing home. And even though they're doing extremely well and they can come and go as they please, there's people in there that are in their 70s and 80s and they don't get to walk. They cannot walk. They have no freedom. They're in walkers. They're in wheelchairs. They've had strokes. They've had heart attacks. They've had diabetes. You name it. They don't get. My dad keeps reminding me, these people, what do you think they would pay for the ability to go outside in nature and walk in the morning? So it's little tips like that that keep us focused on what's really important. I get to walk. I'm working now on getting in the best physical shape of my life because health is our number one wealth. And I think about anything I can do to extend my time on this earth, I'm going to do. So, those days I get up, I don't want to walk to the gym. I do not want to walk to the gym. And I just remind myself, I get to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym. There's some days I don't want to sit down and copyright, and I open up my laptop and I just have a little conversation with myself and I say, Michael, you're one of the blessed ones. You get to write today. You get to write an email. You get to shoot a video. And what really motivates me and inspires me is there's a day coming sooner than later when I won't be able to walk. I won't be able to read. I won't be able to sit down and write. I won't be able to shoot a video like this because Father Time is undefeated and I may still be here, but it depends on what my Creator, my God, has in store for me. I may lose the ability to walk, to read, to write, to shoot videos. In fact, it's not even up for discussion. The only thing that will remain a mystery is how it ends. How it ends. And when we have this mindset where there's a couple of things. Number one, everything changes. Everything around you is changing. It's always evolving and changing. And number two certainty is things end. Things end. Like my father keeps emphasizing, there's a last time you'll say goodnight to your wife, Krista. There is a last time you will kiss Emery goodnight. There's a last time you'll drive her to school. There's a last time you'll walk. There's a last time you'll go on a date night. There is a last time you'll shoot a video. And my dad is extremely candid. He said, I talk to them on the phone all the time when we're in Naples, and my dad's like, there'll be a last time we talk on the phone. There'll be a last time you talk to your mom on the phone. My mom is suffering from dementia. She's doing very well, but there'll be a last time that I talk to them, whether it's on the phone or in person. And when he reminds me of these things, and I think about losing Grandma 5 years ago, it just makes me want to focus more and more of my life force on only three things. And I've given this thought over the last 2 to 3 decades, that life for me, the life I'm building, the world building I'm doing, it really comes down to 3 main pillars for me. 3 main pillars that I need to focus on, and everything else to me is unimportant. It's noise and it's distraction. So when I'm feeling frustrated, or I'm feeling distracted, or I'm feeling stressed, or I'm feeling ungrateful, I have these 3 things written on one of those 3x4 recipe cards, and I look at it in my journal, or I look at it on the wall in my office, and it brings me back to what matters most. The first thing I have written on the card is health. Health is our number one wealth. If we do not have good health, if you do not have your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health, I don't think you want more time. A lot of gurus say time is your most valuable asset. It's a finite resource, I agree. resource. But hell, I don't want more time if I'm in a nursing home and I don't know who I am, or if I'm in a wheelchair and I can't live the life that I want to live. So I have health at number one in the pyramid. Nothing is more important than my health. Health is my number one wealth. So that's my principle and that's my value, and it's one of my big three. It does not matter that we have more time if we honestly don't have good health and vitality. The second thing that I focus on when I'm struggling is family. Family is number two. That's different for everybody. That's my queen and that's my daughter. That's my mom and dad, who are both 90 years young. My sister's family, my brother's family, my sister-in-law's family, my business partner, Marc-Andre LeBlanc, and his girlfriend, like the people that actually matter the most to you. I'm not talking about fair weather friends. I'm not talking about people that come and go in your life. I'm not talking about your high school chums. I'm talking about the people that really, really matter in your life. And when you get to the end of your life, they're the only people that mattered at all. This is a small number, by the way. These are allies. These are mums, these are dads, these are sisters, these are brothers, these are, lifelong, absolute best friends. So I think about that family, our children, our grandchildren, our secret weapon, queen, spouses, husbands. So that's number two, is family. That's my focus, is family. And then the third thing is mission. Every man needs his personal mission. And usually that's business. That's somebody owns a small business, or somebody's an entrepreneur, a copywriter, or a marketer. But damn it, if you're good at it, whether it's big or small, it's not just a business, it's a mission. My dad's mission was insurance. When I owned the hockey teams, my mission was winning hockey championships. When I was in the insurance business, that was my business mission. Now that I'm in the peak performance business here, my mission is to serve 1 million men. So those are the three things that I focus on. I think every man needs to have those three main buckets. You've got to have your health, and you got to protect your health. If you don't use it, if you don't walk, if you don't drink water, if you don't take care of yourself, it's going to be gone. And once it's gone, nothing else. There's no mission without health. There's no family without health. So for me, these are the three big buckets that I focus on. And as we lose people in our world, we look back and we certainly say with zero regret that I'm glad that those are the three things that I keep getting myself to focus on. Health is your number one wealth. Does your thinking and your behavior say that? Does your life, if I followed you around for a day, does what I say at the end of the day, wow, his number one value is health. His number one value is health. Or would I say something very different? Secondly, family. If I followed you around for a day and I saw the way you use your cell phone, I saw the way you are with your queen, with your children, your grandchildren, after a day, would I say, wow, that guy, one of that guy's top three values is family, investing time with the people that matter most to you. Precious time. How do you spell love? T-I-M-E. How do you raise children? 2 words. Be there. How do you have a successful marriage? 2 words. Be there. How do you be a connected and important grandmother, grandfather? 2 words, be there. And it all comes down to how you spell love, T-I-M-E. And then the third thing, if I followed you around for a day, or if I met you and shook your hand and looked in your eyes and we introduced ourselves or we saw each other again, would I come away after spending 5 or 10 minutes with you or a day with you and saying, that's a man on a mission? I can feel the energy, I can feel the high frequency, I can feel the motivation, I can feel the energy. Would I say that's a man who's on a mission? That's a man who is on a mission to serve other people. That's a man who is answering his call from above. That's a man who, even though he's in the real estate business, or even though he's a chiropractor, or even if he's an insurance agent, or maybe he works for a different company, he still found a way. He still found a way to serve other people. And would I say that's a man who's found a calling that's bigger than himself? That he's not like the 99% entitled, selfish, and lazy. He's found a calling, he's found a life purpose that's much bigger than himself. I write books, I write newsletters, I shoot 600 straight videos. Michael, how do you do it? Motivation, inspiration? No such thing. Those are lies. Motivation and inspiration, I've been looking for those for 40 years. They still haven't come home. I do it because I'm a man on a mission, because I'm dedicated to helping 1 million men, so I don't hesitate. I write emails, I get to the gym, I shoot videos, I write newsletters. I do it all because it's not about me anymore. It's about me serving a higher purpose. I'm a man on a mission. And a man on a mission, you can feel it. People, it gives them chills, it gives them goosebumps. People say, Michael, I watch your videos, they give me, that's so inspiring, so motivational. I want to give you fucking chills. I want to awaken that giant inside you, that badass. I want you to understand that we're just a speck in time. And at the end of the day, if you don't want to be forgotten 20 minutes after your funeral, you better get busy serving other people. You better get busy living a life of purpose, a life of significance, being the best husband, father, grandfather, builder that you can possibly be. So that when people talk about you at your funeral and 5 years after and 10 years after, they talk about your legacy of serving other people. Nobody's going to give a shit how much money you made or any of that stuff. All they're going to ask is they're going to say, man, he was a hell of a father. He taught me this. Now I teach my kids this. Grandpa taught me this. Now I teach my great-grandkids this. Grandpa or dad, he wrote this book. He served 1 million people. He worked with the homeless. He worked with big brothers or big sisters. A life of significance, a life of service, and then you have a chance to have a legacy. But those are the big 3 for me. Health is your number 1 wealth. Family's number is that second bucket. They're in no particular order. Family, spending time and investing time, being present with the people that matter most and just getting rid of the rest. And then a man on a mission or a woman on a mission, but on a mission, more than just selling insurance or selling homes or writing reports. What the hell? Who have you been called to serve? And then get busy serving those people. It's interesting. I was thinking the other day that this is just something personal that I think about, but I'm going to be called to meet my maker sooner than later. We're just a speck in time. I'm going to be called to meet my maker. And when I do, I think that my creator, my God, is going to have a question for me that I better be able to answer. And I think that my Creator is going to say to me, after He's blessed me with whatever amount of time He's blessed me with, unlimited wealth, unlimited opportunity, unlimited abundance. I'm able to work and live in the two greatest countries in the world. So I don't have any excuses when I meet my Maker. I gave you the best parents. I gave you the best country. I gave you capitalism. I gave you entrepreneurs as parents and grandparents. I gave you wealth. I gave you abundance. I gave you opportunity. I gave you the World Wide Web. I gave you AI. What more do you want, right? But I think the question that God's going to ask me is He's going to say, Michael, okay, I gave you this number of years, and as an adult, you slept 1/3 of your life. Good man. There's no vaccine, there's no pill, there's no pillow, there's no drug, there's no retreat that can do more for your mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health than sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night. So you did so you slept 1/3 of your life. That's 1/3. The other third, you worked. You chased your mission, you chased your dreams, you chased hockey championships, you coached young men, you coached minor pro athletes, you sold insurance, you built things, you wrote things, you hired people, you paid taxes, you became wealthy with the opportunities that I gave you. That's noble. That's I believe that being an entrepreneur and doing well is my moral responsibility with all the advantages I've been given. To not do well is not what is expected from me. But the third thing He says, so that's 2/3 of your life. 2/3 of your life, 1/3 sleeping, 1/3 working. He says, were you like the 99%? Did you spend the other third of your life scrolling, living somebody else's life, pathetic surrender into a phone, following other people, following celebrities, caring what pro athletes are talking about, anti-social media, watching videos and television shows? Is that what you did with the last third of your life? And when I'm walking around, I see young fathers, at the park or at the pickleball courts, and they're sitting over there buried in their phone when their 5-year-old or their 10-year-old is playing the sport or scoring their first goal or scoring their first touchdown and they miss it. I mean, when I coach skating, when I coach hockey, I look up in the stands, 35 zombies, 35 fucking drones, 35 cupcake parents raising snowflake kids. Not the kids' fault. So you might want to give that some thought. You're going to sleep 1/3 of your life. You're going to work at least 80,000 hours, which is the other is now another third of your life. What are you going to do with that 1/3 of freedom? That time that most everybody has to build, to grow, to serve. Are you going to spend it buried in your iPhone? Are you going to create digital dementia in your life? Are you going to be an iPhone junkie, and your kids and your grandkids are trying to get your attention and you don't have any to give? Is that the way you're going to spend that third of freedom? Oh, I don't have enough time, Michael. It's the biggest line of horse shit I've ever heard. It just means that you're pissing it away on a phone. No exceptions to the rule whatsoever. Scrolling away, watching somebody else's life, getting your dopamine hits from somebody else's life. It's pathetic. It's a fucking pathetic waste of the blessing of human life and time. It's why I don't carry a cell phone. It's why if I'm watching my kids skate or play hockey or play pickleball or at the theater or playing chess or we're driving in the car or we're out walking, she doesn't see me on a phone ever. This is the only thing I'm going to do today on a broken iPhone is shoot this righteous video, and that's it. I couldn't care less about politics. I couldn't care less about pro sports. I couldn't care less about the news. I couldn't care less about anti-social media because I need to focus on my family, my fitness, and my mission. And I only have one life. I give a third to sleep. I give a third to my mission, which is my business. And then that other third is for family. It's for connected time. It's for date nights. It's for what I just talked about. So 3 buckets, and I try to dispense the time into the 3. So I'm gonna put the video, Grandma playing the video at the piano with Krista and Emery here. For me, I love watching this video. It makes me sad for a few minutes, and then it makes me feel blessed and grateful for the rest. And I'm gonna watch this again today with Krista and with Emery, and we're going to think about all the incredible gifts and all the lessons that Grandma Gigi taught us. And like the great country singer Alan Jackson says in Remember When, which is one of my favorite all-time videos and songs. It was in our wedding. It was one of our wedding songs, Remember When by Alan Jackson. Whenever you're feeling frustrated or angry or out of sorts, I highly recommend pulling that song and video up on BoobTube or wherever you watch that stuff. Remember When by Alan Jackson. But the line in there that I think about when I think about Grandma, when I think about being a father, when I think about being a husband, when I think about my mom and dad is, we won't be sad, we'll be glad for all the life we've had. We won't be sad, we won't be sad, we'll be glad for all the life we've had. Mark Andre will put that video below. You can feel free to comment below. You can get a copy of my free book at the link below, and print it off, download it, share it, share it with other people that need that information. We won't be sad, we'll be glad for all the life we've had. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that will change your life. Be relentless. 3 generations at the piano.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.